Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kay and I am Stitchy Pfeiffer here on YouTube and over on Instagram. Very warm welcome to you if this is your first time visiting my channel. I hope that you find something you like, and if you do, please click on the like button and the subscribe button and select all from the notification drop down menu so that you're advised whenever I upload new content. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back and spending some more time with me today. Your support is appreciated, and even if you just give me a like, put a wee comment in, even if it's just a wee emoji, it just gets my videos up through the algorithm for YouTube and gets it out in front of more people. Today I am working on Pa and Nana, which is by Heaven and Earth Designs, artwork by Elizabeth Welker, and this was picked on the wheel last night. What I'm doing for this week anyway, certainly, I'm doing a different pattern, a different project every day. I'm letting the tiny decisions up, pick my pattern that I'm going to be working on, and yeah, after I finished, like I was doing, like I was pushing for that finish, I'm kind of in a bit of a slump. And nothing's really speaking to me. None of my projects are really speaking to me. And it's kind of getting a bit, just start a new project. Well, I'm starting a new project at the end of the month, which is kind of a biggie because it's a St Andrew's Day new start. So I don't really want to start another one. My fabric and my floss is here for that St Andrew's Day new start, and I have to admit I have been tempted to start it early, but I'm not going to, because I'm going to do a live stream, a live start. And what I'm going to start and do is my scheduled starts, I'm going to start and try and do a live stitch with me or live start with me, just because I'm going to change this light colour just because it's not. Is that better? That's a bit better. Oh. No, I can't start my threads. So yeah, I'm going to start and do them. I'm going to start and try and do live starts and live finishes. Just on the live stream, just because, trying something out, see if it works. Obviously, if I'm going to be finishing something and it's going to be like silly, stupid o'clock in the morning, I won't. I'll wait and do it. I'll stop my stitching for the day and finish it whenever. I'm going to not do that to you guys, because I do tend to sit up and stitch until the wee small hours, because my sleeping pattern is all to pot at the moment. It's, what time is it now? This is Wednesday the 4th? Yeah, the 4th of November. I'm saying Wednesday, it's probably Tuesday, which I thought would be Tuesday. Yep, it's Tuesday. See, I'm adding an extra day on. That means live stream tonight, guys. If you're interested, I'll put a scheduled post up on you again at 7:30. Just trying to figure out which days suit people. 7:30 seems a good time. We'll not be doing one tomorrow, because tomorrow night and Sunday night is the night for Nicola Simply a Stitcher's live streams, and I love watching her live streams. So yeah, I will not be trying to take over those nights. Those are her nights. And the same thing, if I find that I'm following someone and they start doing live streams on a specific night, and I'm enjoying their live streams, then I'll miss those nights myself, doing my own one, or I'll change the time or something like that. It's just, I'm quite flexible, because honestly, I stitch till the wee small hours, but conversation's not the best at that time of the night, because I tend to sort of speak in monosyllables. Most people say that my speech like that is, my conversation is not the best at any time because I tend to forget what I'm saying mid-sentence and things like that. But you know what? It all. I mean, as long as you just get the gist of what I'm saying, then I'm happy. Don't really have too much to sort of talk about on this one. So there may be big spaces of just stitching sounds. If you're stitching along with me, let me know what you're working on. Do you like to know? And you know, you never know. You might inspire me to try a new designer or a new artist. You know, if I like something that's because I know that Heaven and Earth Designs have added a couple of new artists. And some of the stuff that they've got is beautiful. I've got a couple of pieces that I've added to my wish list. I'm going to wait and see though. I always hold fire. I always hang fire whenever it's new designers or new designs come out that I like, because I wait and see if they can bring them out with max colour or supersized max colour versions. I mean, I know I could request them myself, but I know there's other people that are like-minded, and I'm impatient sometimes. I mean, I can be impatient. I won't say I am impatient. I can be impatient, and sometimes I can't. I do want stuff, you know, now. So I would go and do that myself if, you know, if it's one that I knew not a lot of people were like interested in, or you know, not that I'm being skinflint letting someone else foot the bill, because it's not the point of it. It's I know that there's like-minded people, and I always hang fire for a couple of weeks to see if anyone else has done them, and then if I'm still interested, if I'm still really wanting to start the project, I'll have a look at it again, and if I don't think that it merits the max colours, I'll just get the regular. But if it's a project that I think, yeah, that would look really nice with the max colours, it needs a wee bit more, then I would probably do the request myself. And that being said, I've not actually done the request myself, because everything that I've thought should be in max colour, someone else has thought that at the same time or before me, and has come up with, you know, as went and requested it. So, but I always hang fire just in case someone else has got the same idea as me, and then I'll go back and look at it again and I'll decide whether or not whether I think it should be, or, you know, whether I like it just the same, or if it's one that I really want to start straight away. Like this one came out and I didn't even wait to see if anyone wanted to do max colour version. I just bought it as a regular size because I love the design. Because I live in the UK, we don't get cardinals over here. And I just love the fact that these are bright red birds. I mean, I know it's the male bird that's the red bird, but these bright red birds, and I just imagine what it would be like over here. They'd be fighting with the robins to be seen at the bird table, I think. But no, I like cardinals. I love cardinals and I love hummingbirds. I've always said I should have been born in the States, or like Georgia, because I know that Holly, Chris Stitching Addict, she's a British girl that's moved to America to set up her own business, set up her own stable, and she does mainly full coverage projects. And not this year, but last summer, she had this male cardinal that kept flying headbutting at our window because he saw his reflection. So, yeah, I was like, yep, I'll move to Georgia just for the cardinals, just to see the cardinals. And I would imagine you get hummingbirds there as well, because I know that they're more sort of a southern thing. Niecy Lynn from Texas would always mention hummingbirds, and Laura of Stitching by the Shore mentioned hummingbirds a couple of weeks back. So maybe I'll say a couple of weeks back, maybe about 2 or 3 months ago, she'd mentioned hummingbirds. So I know that she gets them up there where she is in Delaware. So yeah, I would imagine most of the southern part of the United States gets them, and I would love to see them. I just think they're feisty little things. They're tiny. They flap their wings. Was it 500 times a minute, a second? No, not quite as much as that. But you know what I mean. They're quite. They've got to keep flying. I know they've got to keep flying and keep moving during the day and they've got to keep eating during the day because they use up so much energy. I just think they're beautiful, and some of the colours are amazing. I mean, I'm doing Hummingbirds in Spring by Donna Gelsinger. I'm doing a quick stitch version, which was the second reward chart from this year's Sal. And the colours, I mean, I think they're true to life from pictures I've seen of hummingbirds, and I just think they're beautiful. And there's a David Bathley chart on HAED as well called Hummingbirds. I think I've got that one. And I was just waiting on, if I've got it, it's just waiting on me starting it. I've just got to get the fabric for it, I think. I think I might be putting another reorder into Cross and Crafts now that I'm talking about it, because I really like it, and not done one of his designs before, so one of the David Bathley ones before, so now wait a minute, I blinked and I don't know if I put that into the right place. So you see, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't. I have to learn not to blink when I'm working with this colour on white fabric, because then when I put it through the needle through the hole, I put it in the wrong place. So if I'm going to blink, I have to blink when the needle is behind the fabric. If that makes sense. I've seen that that Zweigart do an ecru version of the pre-gridded. It might be worth my while getting that for these pale coloured designs in the future. See, that was oh, there's something still not right. That's what I've done. So it might be worth my while looking into that for the paler coloured ones. Might make it a bit easier on the eyes, because I've done Cottage Garden Full Bloom, which was my monogamous May project. It's got a lot of these colours in it, these sort of pale colours in the sky, and I did that on antique white, and it was so much easier to see them. Plus I think the fact that it was 18 count helped as well. One. Two. I hope you're still in frame. Really? So yeah. I've seen one or two of the David Bathory charts completed. But it was the hummingbirds one that I really liked. 3, 4. I hope I get to do some more of that, some more leaves in this diagonal, because it was quite fun doing these colours. It was nice and just making a nice change from the background colours. Yes, Charlie, what can I do for you? Hmm? One there. I was saying yesterday on my live stream how I'd been finding it hard to go back to full crosses, like doing it the English method instead of the Danish method, because I've been doing the Danish method and kind of doing cross country with the HAED style to try and get it finished quicker. And I was finding it difficult to go back to doing the English method that I prefer doing, especially on 25 count, just because my stitches look neater. these two colours are so similar to the fabric, because I'm not stitching them at all. Yeah, I was saying that I was finding it more and more difficult to, not more and more difficult, but again, I was finding it really difficult to get my brain to switch back to doing the English method after doing the Danish method, which I had been doing for the HAED cell. Because I just wanted to get the thread and my needle and start stitching and stitch the whole strand, which is how I was working the HAED cell. Towards the end there I was sort of colour completing as well, which I had tried in the middle and didn't like it because I was going left to right. But when I switched and started working on columns going up and down, or down and down one and then up the next, it made more sense to me for doing that. And I could follow where I was going a bit easier. So, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. I decided all my 18 piece, all the pieces I've got, the projects I've got in 18 piece, I'm going to just try and get them finished as much as I can, as quick as I can, because I prefer 25 count for full coverage. But I can't work, like, I can't do the Danish method on it because my stitches then look messy. So going forward, I'm going to stick to the 25 count for my full coverage until I get to a stage where my eyesight is so bad I can't see. Right, why did I not do that top column? Top one. Why did I not start that diagonal in the right place? Oh, I know what I've done. It's because of where that one was finished. Yeah, right, okay, I know what I'm doing now. Just 3756. 3756. I'll just do my blocks out of sequence, but other than four stitches, this is all 3756. I saw a partially completed block, so I thought, oh, I'll just finish that block off. Yeah. Right, we'll start up here then. Oh, and I've got to do 4. If we can get it started. And I'm not put a timer on today. I normally put a timer on for an hour. I've not done that today. So I'm going to have to try and keep track of the time. So it's 29 minutes past 3. I've been doing. So 4:05 will be my. Right, 4:05. So Alexa, set a timer please for 30 minutes.
30 minutes, starting now.
I'm getting back on track. Right. One. And I do apologise if all your Alexas have started. I need to change the name of mine, see if I can change the name of it to something that no one else has got so that it doesn't trigger anyone else. Don't know if you can change the name. Change it to Bob. Oh. I remember when I lived in the village before that I was in before this. It was I lived sort of the other, not the other side of Fife, but sort of like central Fife. And I was in a ground floor flat. Well, it was what we call a floor in a block. I think Americans call them duplexes. And I remember I was going out to the bin to put stuff in the bin, and I heard my neighbour, and they had just got one of the Google versions of Alexa, and all you heard was Google whatever, Google whatever. I would answer it, and it would be something completely different, because they obviously couldn't work with the Scottish accent, so it was absolutely hilarious. All we heard was Google, you're effing this, and Google effing that, and and I think the next time I spoke to the guy, I went, "You still got your Google?" He was like, "No." I chucked it out because it was rubbish. I was like, just started laughing, and he's like, "What?" And he was like, "What are you laughing at?" I says, "I come out to the bin the other day and all I heard was you swearing at it." And he kind of looked rather embarrassed and sheepish. He went, "Oh," he says, biggest piece of junk going. I says, "No," I says, "it's just they've not got the software to pick up the broad Fife accent." Oh, and I remember when I set my Alexa up for the first time. You know, you've got to say you've got to say like Alexa so and so, Alexa. You've got to sort of say certain things, certain prompts to it, to initially to start it up, and it's like start with it was, I'm not sure what you mean. Oh God, and it just brought back that memory. But I do like it. Siri was the same on my phone as well. I think Siri's gotten used to me now. I mean, I've got an accent, but I've not got as broad an accent as some people. And my mum, God rest her, she was English. And when we were growing up as children, we weren't allowed to speak in the vernacular. We were taught to speak the Queen's English, or the King's English now, but the Queen's English at the time. And if she heard us using slang for anything, she didn't like it. Didn't help that my dad just spoke, you know. But she didn't like it. She thought it was common. And I think now, I think it's about, I think I must be about 18 or 19. I mean, my mum passed away when I was young. I was about 11 or 12 when she passed away. And but I always remember up until I was about maybe 18 or something, I didn't really use slang. It wasn't until I started working. She's 747. Yeah, you coming back again? So yeah, it wasn't until I started working that I really started using slang. But I just remember my mum used to always think it was common and lazy not to use proper English words when, you know. My dad used to say to her, "But why use 20 words when one would do?" Well, you know, and people know what you're talking about. And Mum was like, "Yeah, but I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what that means." And it's rude. Oh no, I think you'll notice with me my when I'm speaking that when I get more conscious about my audience, I come away from the broadness and my accent changes slightly. I would say it becomes a wee bit more what's the word I'm looking for? Not refined, but I think when I slow down and when I don't speak at my normal talking speed, that my accent becomes broader. Because I'm enunciating the words clearer, my vowels become rounded, my R's become more pronounced, and I think I get a broader Scottish accent doing that than when I speak my normal space, my normal cadence. I mean, you think I can talk, oh, you know what, I've done that in the wrong. Oh, why did you not tell me I was stitching on the wrong row? Oh, for goodness sake. You come off of there. See, I've stitched them. I was about to stitch that third stitch. I thought, that doesn't look right. Dearie me. I'm talking about my mum. My mum was a great knitter and cross stitcher. She wasn't really a cross stitcher, but she was a crocheter and she was a knitter. She could memorise patterns, and unfortunately got lost in a house move. But I had the last shawl she ever knitted, the last baby shawl she ever knitted, and she did it by memory. By the time she finished it, her eyesight was gone. By the time she finished it, and my sister actually had to stitch on the border for her because she couldn't do that part herself. But other than that, it was all stitched by my mum, and she had done it from memory. And I mean, this shawl was, you know, decent size. But you know the size of the piece of fabric that my Kitschy kitchen shelf is on, my supersize max colour. It was about that size, and she had done it all in memory, by memory, and it got lost in a move, and I was heartbroken when it happened. She'd also made baby nighties, and I had a couple of them, and they were with it, and you know, we looked after it. I had used it for my daughter, and come home from the hospital, and I had wrapped it in tissue paper, you know, and like you're supposed to do when you're protecting stuff, and yeah, it got lost in the move, and I was heartbroken because I wanted my daughter to have it for her children, but it got lost, and I could have swung for the removal men when I couldn't find it. I could have swung for them because that wasn't the only thing that went missing. There was other stuff went missing as well. It was my mum's, and it was never going to get replaced, so it was, oh. We think what happened was when it was in a box that was marked, like there was boxes that were marked for the bin and boxes that were marked to move, and it got separated from the boxes that were supposed to move, and it ended up in the pile of the stuff that was to go to the bin. And nobody was owning up to it, and it was a nightmare. So yeah, fortunately I lost quite a few things that were my mum's. And I also lost my tapestry. that I'd been working on as well. I'd been working on it for years and it went missing. So I decided, I have vowed that if I ever move house, all my cross stitch stuff goes with me. Doesn't go in a removal van, it goes with me. Just because I don't want to lose any of it. Because I've worked, the stuff that I've completed, I worked hard to complete it. My stash that I've accumulated, I've worked hard to, you know, I've over the space of what, I mean, cross stitching, this will be what, third or fourth year that I've been working on some of them, and a stash that I've accumulated for my threads. I mean, you're looking at over 1,000. Well, I would say for the fabrics and the floss, I'm trying to think how many projects I've got on the go here. I've got 22 on the go. The fabric and the flosses very rarely was below 30 quid for any of them. So you're looking at what, looking at somewhere in the region of £1,000 to £1,500 that's going to cost me to replace them if anything happens. It's a lot of money. There's some of the projects that I started, like my supersized max colour Kitschy kitchen shelf, that cost me over £100 to get CXC, and yeah, okay, I use CXC so it's cheaper, but if that had been DMC, you were looking at £300. You know, so one of the reasons that I do use CXC is because of the price. The second reason is I prefer the quality of the threads. I can do more damage to them. As you can see, I can unpick stitches and go straight back to stitching them with the thread again. Whenever I unpick stitches with DMC, it breaks. So that's another reason that I'll prefer my CXC. And yes, it's polyester cotton. It's not 100% cotton, and I'm aware of that, and that's part of the reason why some of the colours are off. But they're not off by much. And when you do the complete project in CXC, it's not obvious. When you use, say, if I was using some CXC and some DMC, I think you would notice the difference because because of the sheen. I think there's more of a sheen to the CXC has got a shinier coating because it's the polyester blend. The only thing that I don't like, the only time I don't mind using DMC is when it's a variegated thread. I didn't need to print. I've got a couple of projects that are variegated threads and I've used DMC on them. And my neighbours can always tell when I'm using them because I curse. I curse and I curse so much when I'm using DMC because it knots and it goes all that twisty way when you pull it out the strand, like your strand out, and it goes all that curly whirly way. And Madeira's the same. I don't like Madeira either. I just don't like cotton threads. I've decided I don't like 100% cotton threads. Oh, I can't get this needle to thread. Why is it not threading? Is it bent? It's not bent, so it's not twisted. Oh. Saying that, I have got a couple of needles on here that are bent. One looks like a banana. Look. Try and There we are. It's got a bend in it. It's like a banana. But it's comfortable to use. So yeah. Here's me. I said I didn't have much to say, but I've got quite a bit to say, haven't I? So yeah, I like my noodles to have a slight bend in them. I always find when I get a new noodle and it's perfectly straight, that's when I tend to stab myself. I mean, like I've got a hole here, always permanent hole in my finger, because I keep stabbing myself. But I do it more when it's a brand new noodle. Oh, you idiot. Shall I try that again? It's 1/1, not 1/1.5. I was looking at my projects that I've got to start my kits. I've got a couple of kits, and I've got one that's a Highland Cow. It's a Butty Threads kit. And I was looking at that and I was thinking, you know what, I've got 2 spots. And I could put that in one of my slots because I've got a UFO'd chart, which was Autumn Waltz by Carolyn Manning. I decided I didn't like the fabric. I was about a quarter of the way through it. Didn't like the fabric. I was worried. I was beginning to think that I didn't have enough fabric. So I UFO'd it, and what I'm going to do is restart it on antique white, and I'm going to get the other 3 seasonal waltzes charts and do them all on antique white. I sound boring because I either stitch on white or antique white, but I've got a couple other colours, but I don't really stitch on much because I stitch mainly full coverage. 762. Because I stitch mainly on full coverage. Nope, not that one. Just back to front. No, not that one. Where's that one then? Ugh. Couldn't see it by looking at it. What was I saying? Yeah, I've got that. So I stitch mainly on white fabric because I stitch mainly full coverage projects. Even my big long dog samplers, I don't do wild and wonderful fabric choices. I tend to stick to antique white and just change the colour of the floss. I don't do different coloured flosses. I tend just to stick with, you know, one colour. Do monochrome. I don't know why. I just don't. I'm not as. I don't have the vision of some of them unless it's in the pattern of where to put specific colours. I mean, I would love to be able to do one of those, to do one and have like a dash of colour here and a dash, like for specific motifs. But I found that when I get stitching on them and I get into the zone, it doesn't matter. I just crack on with it, and I would probably forget to change the colour of the floss, to be honest. Sometimes forget to go back and do the back stitch. As I tend to do the back stitch as I'm going, or by page. You know, as I finish a page, I'll do the back stitch on that page. Pardon me, but I have noticed sometimes that I forget, and it's maybe 2 or 3 pages worth of back stitch, and I'm cursing because I don't like to back stitch. Which is why I think I like doing full coverage projects so much. And although I do curse confetti stitching, I don't curse at that as much as I curse at back stitch. But I love doing black work. I love the look of black work, but it's all back stitch, isn't it, really? So what about you guys? Do you curse back stitch? Do you like doing it? Granted, some designs it needs it to make the details pop. But when you're working on full coverage projects, majority of the ones that I work on have no back stitch. If they do, I tend to avoid them. Evenweave designs, Artecy, Pain-Free Crafts, none of those designs have back stitch. Might actually. Heads up, Abby, you might be getting another order next week on top of the one that you're going to be getting the weekend. I might actually kit up Winter Montage and start that middle of December, because I've got a gap. I'm going to have a gap. But I don't want to start another one in beginning of January because I've got two. I've got Monarch of the Glenmark's colours getting started on Hogmanay. That's getting started at 12 noon on Hogmanay. There will be a live start with me. Possibly I'll come back and do another live stream later on in the evening. Because I'm going to do a 12-hour stitch marathon on it. Stitch on it every hour for at least 15 minutes. Between 12 noon and 12 midnight. Which is when we see the new year in. And then on the 1st of January at 12 noon, hoping that I'm up in time, I will be starting the HAED, and I will be announcing which chart I picked, because I'm not selling anyone at the moment. I'm keeping it a secret. And everyone, everyone is welcome to have a guess as to which chart they think of the 12 they think I've picked. But there's no prizes. There's no prizes for winning, for guessing the correct one. But if you want to have a guess, feel free. If you think my taste's well enough, then I've kind of threw a spanner in the works, because I did mention that I have mentioned in various live streams and of Nicola's and comments on various Facebook groups. I have commented which chart actually drew me to the HAED, because I wasn't going to do the HAED this year. I was going to give it a miss and maybe do one that, because I was actually thinking about doing the Cross Stitch Studio one, but now I can't do both. So what I'm thinking is I might just, because the Cross Stitch Studio one extends until June of 2027, what I might do is I might just go ahead and get it and to start it, and maybe just limit myself to doing a couple, like maybe one day a week on it, Where's the HAED saw? I'm probably going to be doing that as my evening stitch. Heads up for those of you that, you know, follow Nicola as well and follow the live stream. You will probably see that one quite a lot on her live stream on her Sew and Tell, because that is what I'm going to be using as my evening stitch, which is also my challenge stitch for Abby's series of challenges. I'm going to restart on the 1st of January with the Harry Potter series, and I'll be starting back at chapter 1 with on the Philosopher's Stone. I think I got up to chapter 6 to finish off this year's one, but rather than trying to remember where I am on it, I'm going to start from scratch, and I'm going to set up a page on Notion to keep a track of it for me, so that, you know, when I enter my stitches in per day of what I've done, it's going to automatically take them from my total for the chapter. And whether I've done like my pages and stuff like that, I'm going to break it down a wee bit. I'm going to attempt to do a page on Notion. I'm not going to say I'm definitely going to do it. I know someone explained that there was a way of doing it, where you could do an Excel spreadsheet of the books and the chapters and the pages, the totals, and you could then export that into Excel. But I need to find the actual post in the group. I need to remember firstly which group it was that I seen it in. Secondly, I need to find out figure out how to do it. I might actually have to DM the person and say, could you talk me through this, how you did it, because I want to do it. And make it so that I can keep a track of it and mark them off. I'm also wanting to set up my Notion so that when I complete a pattern, it gives me a wee sort of confetti thing, because when I put in my final stitches for my head sal, it was rather anticlimactic. The same, I mean, at least on my Stitch Pal app, it turns out it says, congratulations, you've completed whatever, you know. Well, words to that effect. And then you get a little green tick next to the project. What I'm going to do is, the ones that I completed last year, I'm going to actually delete off Stitch Pal because it's getting quite unwieldy. So I completed 2 last year, completed 2 this year. Well, I'm nothing if not consistent. In fact, I might actually finish 3 projects last year. I do apologise if you can hear my stomach growling. Not had, you know, I never got up till after 1. So my stomach's, my body's, like I said, my sleep pattern's gone completely to pot. I used to be really good at getting up and starting stitching at 7 o'clock in the morning. 7 or 8. And stitching till about maybe 10 or 11 at night. And I could have an afternoon nap if I wanted, you know. But since I've tried cutting out the afternoon nap, I'm stitching till maybe 1 or 2 in the morning. And then I'm going to my bed and I'm struggling to get to sleep. And it's maybe between 4 and 5 in the morning before I'm actually getting to sleep. And then my alarm's set for 7:30 or 8. So I'm hitting it, switching it off. And then because I'm not getting up straight away, I'm falling back asleep. Alexa, stop! I'm falling back asleep again. And the next thing I know, it's like back at 12, half 12 or 1 o'clock. So I really need to figure out a way of getting myself back into the early morning starts, because it was so peaceful to be sitting at that time in the morning stitching. But as you know, that's Alexa now, and it told me that my half hour is up. We are on 55. The reason I question is because the angle I'm looking at it looks like it could easily be 55 or 56. So, let's try and see if I can get any more out of this thread. I might just finish this with a stitch and pop the next strand on. I'm doing the pin stitch to secure the thread. I'm having to do it slightly different to how I would do it on Aida. You do it on Aida, you start at the outside, bring it to the middle. When you do it on this, you have to pierce both the vertical and the horizontal threads. And go to the outside. Where's my needle? My scissors. Oh yeah. 756. I might get a decent stitch count with this one. I was struggling to go over. I didn't even get over 600 yesterday on Rosie Santa. I couldn't get into it at all. But because this one is a bit blockier with the colours, I can get into it a bit. I just can't thread my needle today at all. I can't needle thread a needle for toffee today at all. Once again, starting thread. So make the lip, and then through the lip, and then down. Let's finish this block off, and then that'll be it for this stitch with me. I shall carry on stitching until I get my dinner. And hopefully my stomach will not be growling too much. So we're going to eat anything now beforehand. Oscar, do you want to leave the porch door on, please? Thank you. You're a good boy when you want to be. He's figured that if he, before I had my carpets down, that was a saga and a half, that, get my carpets down. But before I had my carpets down, I just had the wooden floor. And he discovered that he could get his paws under the porch door and sort of grab the door, the wood of the door with his claws, and pull it open. And the carpet makes it a wee bit tighter, but he can still. But what he's doing is, instead of putting his paws under the door and pulling, what he's doing is he's clawing at the carpet and pulling, and he's managing to get under the door. He's a pest. He is a pest, but I suppose he's my pest. Right, that is the block completed. And I have completed... Oscar, calm down. He's got zoomies. I've completed 178 stitches. And just over an hour. Because it's all mainly one colour. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do another row and one stitch. No, wait a minute. If I take that down to there, because that's where there's not a stitch above it, yeah. Because the way I park my stitches, because I park under empty spaces, because I need to take it down to about here before I can finish, before I can park it. So, yeah. I mean, I know I should have started those 2 stitches there because they are, because normally I count the top row of stitches as if it was under a completed row of stitches, if that makes sense. But I couldn't see where to park it after that. I'm hoping. Alright. 2 blocks away, so yeah, I might have had to. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna be from subject to hand. I'm gonna call it quits with this stitch with me here anyway. And I shall see you on the next one, probably tomorrow. There's more than likely going to be a live stream tonight, around about 7:30ish GMT. And I said GMT, not GNT, or GNT. But if you want to have a GNT while you're watching me, that's, you know, that's, you can do it. I'm not stopping you. So I'm going to go, guys. Thank you so much for your company today. As I said at the beginning, if you like the video, if you like the content, if you like the projects that I'm stitching on and you want to follow, follow their progress, please click on the like and subscribe buttons and select all in the notification drop down whenever you're, so that you're advised whenever I upload new content. I usually upload new content on a Saturday is my weekly update. I will do Stitch With Me's usually Tuesdays and Thursdays. And now added to the library. Hello. Are you getting chased? Is he annoying you, Charlie? Well, you're bigger than him, so you can tell him off. You have my permission to tell Oscar off. Just don't take it to extremes. Where was I? Yeah, added to the library of videos is my live streams. Still trying to figure out days that work best. So you might find for this week there's probably going to be 3 or 4 because, as I said, I'm trying to find the right day that works. But they'll usually be 7:30 GMT. The weekends I might do maybe one sort of midday or something, or sort of middle of the afternoon or something, just because it's the weekend. But you shall see. I'm going to finish off as I usually do and say, doesn't matter how many stitches you do in a stitchy session, because even one stitch completed is one stitch less that you have to do. And be kind, treat others, as you wish to be treated yourself. A kind gesture, smile, kind word costs nothing, but it can mean the world to the person on the receiving end. You don't know what a person is going through in their life. They could be having an absolute day from hell, and your smile, kind gesture, kind word, even if it's just a hello in passing and a smile, it could make all the difference to that person. And do you want to tell me why you kicked a ball at my foot, Oscar? Seriously. It could mean the world to them and help them get through that day a little bit easier. So I'm going to go, guys. Thank you again for your company today, and happy stitching. Bye, guys. Bye.